We are back on Morning Line. The number is 737-7587. Josh Horn from Social Security. If you'd like to ask a question, now's the time to call. And we've got Catherine on next. Hi, Catherine.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, ma'am. How are you?
Just fine. My question is, I will be turning 66 later in this year, and I am wanting the retirement benefit. So how far ahead do I need to apply to start this process?
How old did you say? She's turning full retirement?
Yeah, she's turning 66 this year.
Good
and
for
so,
you. Okay.
yeah, 2 or 3 months is usually, we can't do it any more than 3 months in advance because the systems won't let us. And so, 2 months, 3 months. These days we usually have your birth information on file already because of the coordination with the states. And so most of the time it's a real simple process. And that's again why going online for a lot of folks, you can, again, a couple of months in advance, go online. Takes about 10 minutes to fill out a few questions: who you're married to, when you want it to start, are you working right now. Comes over to our system, we double check it and push it through rather than you having to either wait or set up an appointment or anything like that. But a lot of folks still want to come in or see us, and in that case we can set up an appointment a couple months in advance and get that taken care of for you.
Hey, Catherine, did you at any point think about taking it early? Your goal all along was to wait till full retirement because you could do that?
It was definitely to wait till full retirement for the full benefit.
Yeah, had you gone in there and looked at the calculator and seen how much less you would get if you went early?
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
it is significant.
Well, good for you. And that's a good question. We've had that before. How early? But if she gets it ahead of time, then at that first month, she should get that check pretty much on schedule, right?
Yeah, I've had people call me 6 months in advance because they're so excited, and I appreciate the enthusiasm, but the systems won't let us do anything earlier than about 3 months before.
2 or 3 months before. Good for you, Catherine. Does that help?
Thank you. It sure does. Thank you very much.
You bet, man. Thank you. Yeah, so if she does the 2 months before, gets it in there, then at the point she turns 66 is when that first month the check would come. And typically, does it come at the beginning of the month, middle of the month, end of the month? So
it's a good question. When do checks come? And we're strictly talking about Social Security, not SSI. But Social Security checks, whether it's disability or retirement, they actually are paid 1 month behind. Okay. So your January check comes in February. The other thing is that especially if you draw early, you have to be it has to be for a full month. So if I turn 62 in the middle of January, well, I actually can't start until February because you have to be 62 for the entire month. Okay. And then your February check actually comes in March, so it's all 1 month behind. And then you pay, depending on when your birthday falls in the month, if it's the first 10 days, the middle 10 days, or the last 10 days, depends on whether your birthday is the second, third, or fourth Wednesday of the month.
Gotcha. Okay, that's how it works. Let's go next to David. David, good morning. Hi, David.
Hey, how we doing today?
Good. Good to hear from you, buddy.
Hey, I got a quite simple question, I guess, and then I got a heads up for a bunch of veterans out there. My simple question is, 80% of Medicare will pay for hospital. Why can't I pay an extra 50 or 100 bucks and get full coverage?
So that's oftentimes that's where either supplemental plans come in or the Advantage plans will come in, and they kind of fill that gap. And I couldn't tell you how, depending on what plan you get, could cost you however much it costs. But when you say, hey, I'm willing to pay some extra money to make up that difference, that's where you need to look into either the Advantage plans or the supplemental plans.
I shouldn't have to do that. It's simple mathematics. Give me an extra $100 out of my check and cover the whole thing. Here's why. I had a stroke here a while back. I thought the VA would cover what the Medicare don't. Wrong answer. I have been bugged to death for years over stuff that Medicare did not cover, and VA don't cover anything but a major malfunction, service-connected disability. That's all.
Okay.
I just had a stroke, so that don't count.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that helps, especially if there's some veterans that are listening, to kind of make sure you're aware of what your VA benefits will cover in addition to your Medicare benefits. But I mean, I don't have any other answer of why there's not that option out there. I mean, it might very well be a good possibility, but
you mean David could be onto something when he says something from government doesn't make sense? I think you're right, David, and that's like hitting your head against a wall. I mean, you can contact your congressman, but changing the Medicare system, good luck with that. You know, I mean, it's just the way it is. But I think he probably has a good point. Let's go next to Todd. Todd, good morning. Hi, Todd.
Morning, Nick and Mr. Horn. I just got a quick question. On the review, I was awarded my disability Social Security last year, as Mr. Horn's aware of, and the judge awarded me 100% disability, permanent disability, and they recently, I've seen a neurologist and they found fluid on my brain, and I was just wondering on the review, he said there was 3 different, like 3, 5, and I don't know what the other one was. How, and I'll soon be 56, how long do they, how do they determine how many years it'll be before, and will I be reviewed again since I was awarded 100% disability permanently?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a really good question. How do they determine how frequently you'll be medically reviewed? There's a few factors involved. The biggest one is what your diagnosis is. For example, if you've got a condition or disease that has no cure, cerebral palsy might be an example, or something that I mean, you're going to have it the rest of your life. It's it's never going to improve. You know, that may be something where it's more of a 7-year diary or 7-year review. You know, there's other conditions where at the moment you're still trying to figure out how to, not you, but the person may be trying to figure out how to get the medicines regulated, how to get maybe they're working with vocational rehabilitation, they're doing different things like that, and the prognosis may be more about, even though it's permanently or it's 100% disabling right now, you know, in 2 to 3 years, it may be better or may not be. They just don't know, and they may set a 3-year. And it's really up to the medical examiner to determine that. They've got different criteria that they follow in setting that. And then when it's time for the review, it comes up on the field office's list. You know, we don't necessarily know when it just comes up on our list, and we start sending out those letters asking folks to fill out the information. And you have a great example of where you have a new doctor, maybe I don't know if it's a new condition or an increased condition or whatever, and that's the kind of information that we need. Hey, you know, put that down there. We review that, say, okay, this person's certainly not any better, and probably worse, and then we can mark that real easy and keep you going into pay and move on. You have
literally millions of people on these benefits. So are the reviews random, or, you know, if you're collecting a benefit at some point you're going to do a review?
No, if you're collecting disability benefits, you're going to be on a medical review cycle. It's either going to be, like I said, I think I misspoke earlier, some of them are even 1 year. We do have some 1 year, but mostly 3, 5, and 7-year rotations.
Yeah, Todd's permanent, what it is, and Todd's indicative of what we talked about during the break. These reviews come about, and I say, well, maybe some people have improved. I think the vast majority of people that are collecting it probably have gotten worse. And so, Todd, I wouldn't worry about anything. I mean, maybe it's a headache having to go through the review, but if your condition hasn't gotten better, it's just part of the process. You got to do the review, but I don't see there being any problem with your benefits.
Right.
Let's go next to Pat. Hi, Pat. Good morning, Pat.
Yes, I got a grandson that don't have but one good eye, okay? One of his nerves and one of his eye didn't, you know, come to. And he can't see but one of his eye. Can he get this SSI?
So he's blind in one eye, but his other eye is fine. His other eye is okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's working a little, you know, but he's been there for about a year and a half. They never gave him the raise and nothing, you know.
Yeah, well.
So, I mean, you're always welcome to file. I mean, I'm not a medical examiner, so I couldn't tell you for sure what the decision would be, but if his limited vision, and that's probably what I would consider it is a limited vision or blind, low vision type situation, then you would want to mark that down, and you'd want to demonstrate how it's affecting his schooling and his daily activities and things like that when you're talking about disabled child benefits.
He doesn't like to issue opinions because he just sees this, but if you're blind in one eye, okay, unless there's something else going with it, based on all the shows I've done and all the calls, you are not going to be declared 100% disabled. It's just not going to happen. Unless you have some type of job that required both eyes, and she sounds like he's a younger man, it's not going to happen.
Well, she was saying, and we're probably talking about SSI disabled child, SSI child benefits, and so obviously they're not working if you're talking about somebody under 18.
Well, I thought she said 18 or something, but
oh, okay. Well,
but that could be wrong.
That could be different
now,
too.
Child benefit may be different, but would you agree though? I mean, there, a lot of people, limited vision, but one eye, a working eye. If that's your only issue, and that's bad to lose an eye, don't get me wrong. There are jobs you can do with one eye and everything else functioning. And so 100% disability, as hard as it is to get disability,
if you're an adult, if you're an adult, you got to show that it's that you can't work. 100% disabled from working.
So it's worth applying. Give it a shot. You have nothing to lose except your time to do it. But I think that's a long shot. That's just my opinion. Let's go next to Jewel. Hi, Jewel. How are you, Jewel? Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you, my friend.
What's on your mind?
I just want to say I appreciate your show. David Frost and Dick Cavett ain't got nothing on you. At least we can call in and make comments.
How many people know who they are?
Such very intellectual and interesting guests on there. And I wish I could have meet you and Rick and Marilena. But I'm moving on back up home here by the end of this month. And thank you for having Josh on there. I wanted to ask you a question about concerning my Social Security. Now, where I'm moving to is in Peru, Indiana, and they have a Social Security office in Kokomo, Indiana. And I called my brother, and he said I'll have to go over there and reapply or do some paperwork or something like that. And I'm kind of in the dark. I love you, Nick Barris, and all your beautiful guests. And peace be with you. I'm going to hang up and listen at you now. Thanks again for taking my call.
Thank you. Jewel, I'm going to miss you. And Jewel has been a caller for a long time, and he's just a great guy with some wonderful stories, and I have all the respect in the world for Jewel. And I wish you will. I'm glad you're moving home, sounds like, to your brother. And anyway, maybe we'll hear from you again before you leave. But Jewel, I'm going to really miss you. Okay, with him, people move.
Yeah.
Social Security is nationwide.
Social Security is nationwide, and so there's a couple of things with moves. We kind of mentioned earlier, and I'd like to reiterate that when you do move, it's really easy to forget to tell us because your benefits are going direct deposit. You may not necessarily have changed your bank, so you may not think that you need to tell us about your move, but that's how we issue correspondence. If it's a medical review, if it's, hey, there's a problem with your, whatever it is, hey, we need to talk to you, we'll send you a letter, and if we don't know where you're living at, that could be obviously an issue. The other thing, though, especially with SSI, is that different states have state supplements, which have nothing to do with the Social Security Administration, but it's something that they do to supplement. California is probably one of the to me, is the first one that comes to mind. If somebody moves to California, they move from California, California has a state supplement that they pay on top of the SSI benefit. So if people move here from California and say, why did my benefits go down? Well, your SSI benefits didn't go down. You just don't get this California supplement anymore. And then, of course, if they go out there, California wants to talk to them as soon as possible so that they can get them on the state supplement. The other thing, too, is if you're drawing SSI and maybe you're drawing TennCare, when you go to Indiana, you'll switch from the Tennessee TennCare to whatever Indiana has, the Medicaid program. So that's why, especially with SSI, it's important to contact your local office when you move so that we can do that, get you all updated and get the state on board.
Awesome. I'm sorry, Mary, did you say we need to take the break right now? Yeah, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll take more calls in our final segment right after this.